If you've been eyeing a home and wondering if Sioux Falls actually has the type of luxury that justifies a move, you're totally asking the right question. That feeling of, is there really something that's worth uprooting our lives when we're looking to upgrade our home here in Sioux Falls? I hear that a lot from families like yours. That's why I've actually put together a link in the description of a comparison checklist of the 5 different luxury neighborhoods I'm going to be talking about today in this video. It's going to compare them on price, location, and amenities so that you can make the right decision for your family. Okay, let's start on the far east side at Arbors Edge. This neighborhood actually surprised me because think about 260 acres of rolling hills next to the Big Sioux River with mature trees and an amazing residence club with a pool, a community center, and all of the amenities that you would love. It even has sports courts, tennis courts, and an ice skating rink during the winter season. And it actually has lots that back up to the Big Sioux River, which give you views that you can't find anywhere else. Homes in this area range from $785,000 all the way up to $4.9 million. We have executive riverfront lots that go for these premium prices, and this area actually housed one of the highest sales in Sioux Falls in 2025. So here's what I've learned from buyers that are interested in the Arbors Edge area. They're not really buying a home, they're buying a lifestyle. So what we're seeing is families like you who are outgrowing their homes and are looking for something with a little bit different pace and maybe a better school district area that are really driven to this east side Arbors Edge neighborhood. So I recently had a family who is expecting baby number 3. Their family was growing, and even though they have loved their home in Prairie Hills, it was a ranch style layout and they were just outgrowing the space. With 3 young kids, they decided they wanted to be in the Brandon Valley School District. So we found the right lot, the right builder, and the right neighborhood for them to really grow into. So while the house was being built, we were actually getting their home in Prairie Hills ready to sell. Once that home went on the market, when we were about ready to close on their new 2-story, we were actually able to procure a buyer that was right down the street in Prairie Hills. Now this is a really unique situation because that buyer was downsizing into their ranch style from another home in Prairie Hills. And lo and behold, I actually had a client that was looking for the exact type of home that she was selling. So not only did I get to help one family move to Arbors Edge, I also got to help another young family that was expecting baby number 2 to move into the Prairie Hills neighborhood. So if you're in a similar season of life as my 2 couples I just told you about are, where your home isn't really meeting the needs of what it was about 3 to 5 years ago, maybe longer than that, then this is a great time to start having the conversation of where is that next home located, and some of these luxury neighborhoods might be the perfect fit. Arbors Edge is definitely a beautiful place to land, but if you're craving more of a south side location in the Harrisburg School District, then you're going to love the neighborhood of Prairie Hills. That's exactly where my last story came from, and Prairie Hills is actually one of my favorite neighborhoods. Because I'm from Harrisburg, I'm partial to that school district, but I also love a lot about this neighborhood. It has larger lot sizes, luxury homes, and price ranges where it's actually a little more reasonable than some of our other luxury neighborhoods. It also has a really nice neighborhood vibe. It has a park that the kids actually go and play in, and it has such a great community feel. Homes that were selling just a few years ago for $700,000 up to $900,000 are now selling for over 1.1 and 1.2, all the way up to 1.3 million and maybe just a touch higher. So we're seeing a lot of appreciation in this neighborhood, but the homes are absolutely beautifully built and they have plenty of space for you to spread out. You'll notice in this neighborhood that we have a little bit more modern construction. Most of the homes in this neighborhood were built in 2000s and on. So the homes have a little bit more modern construction style, larger lots, but mature trees. This Prairie Hills neighborhood is in a great central south side location. You're very close to I-229 and 29. You're close to Yankton Trail Park and Sertoma Park, there's definitely more green space in this area, and people like that it's centrally located and easy to get to and from. Here's something most buyers don't realize, that in these luxury neighborhoods, we actually see more homes sell off market. Getting yourself connected with an agent who is well versed on the different luxury neighborhoods and can keep an eye on anything that's off market or pocket listed is really important. So if you want a neighborhood where your investment is protected and it actually feels like home, then Prairie Hills is definitely one you'll have to check out. But if you're thinking that waking up to fairway views and golf course amenities is more your speed, then this next neighborhood is one you're going to want to put on your list. So in this section, I actually combined two different neighborhoods, but they definitely both touch and border the Prairie Green golf course. So Prairie Green and Grand Prairie neighborhoods, I'm combining into one section. This area is definitely desirable because of its central location and the proximity to those golf course and fairway views. So both of these neighborhoods have similarities, but they definitely have some uniqueness as well. Prairie Green is older and more established, but that means more mature trees and mature landscaping. And then when you get into the Grand Prairie neighborhood, those are the early 2000s or newer. There are still maybe a few lots available in the Grand Prairie area. Grand Prairie also has a community center, which is definitely nice for families where you can gather. It has a pool and it has pickleball courts. Prices across both of these neighborhoods range from about $850,000 all the way up to $3.65 million. Yes, I said $3.65 million. That was a beautiful, large estate that backed up to the golf course. So it had an elevator, it had some crazy amenities, and the finishes were beautiful. And that was one of our top sales here in Sioux Falls. This area has had multiple homes that have sold around the $1.8 to $2 million range as well. So definitely a little bit more luxury in the Grand Prairie and Prairie Green neighborhoods. Some of Grand Prairie's newer builds have all the bells and whistles, like motorized shades, elevators, amazing finishes and amenities, 6-stall garages. I mean, the list goes on. That's when you know it's really true luxury. So even though both of these neighborhoods might seem a bit different, one with mature trees and people who want to stay in these homes longer and that neighborhood feel versus the little bit more modern amenities, what they both have in common is when I show houses in these neighborhoods, people walk in and they just kind of go quiet. They take it in and they're thinking about what their life could actually look like when they would live there. They're envisioning coffee on a screened-in porch overlooking the golf course, great views, large trees, and all of the amenities that they could really want for their growing families. So as much as I love those centrally located golf course neighborhoods, this next neighborhood is something completely different. And it's a little more off the beaten path. Arthur Estates is one of my favorite South Side neighborhoods, and it's filled with homes on acre-plus lots, lakeside pond views, and lots of families are really loving this growing neighborhood. Arthur Estates is actually where some of our biggest records are being set. We're located really close to the Baker's Crossing golf course, so we still get a little golf course action, but in this neighborhood, we see homes that are ranging from $1.25 million all the way up to $3.7 million, which was a record setter. Homes in this neighborhood have features such as 6,000 plus square feet, movie theater rooms, lakefront views, and they just are a little bit different luxury feel. I also feel like one of the reasons this neighborhood is popular is because the lot sizes are much more generous. You don't feel like you're really on top of your neighbors, but you still have a great neighborhood vibe. I actually worked with a family that loved their established neighborhood that they lived in, but they felt like every time that they entertained, they were just ending up on top of each other. Everyone wanted to gather in the kitchen location and it just felt too tight. So they were looking for a space where they could spread out. And Arthur Estates was the perfect location for them. Kept them in the school district that they wanted to be in, the Harrisburg School District, but it also gave them more space. So in their new home, they have way more entertainment space. They have outdoor entertainment and indoor, and lots of room for the kids to run. So if you've ever felt cramped like that, then Arthur Estates is definitely one of the neighborhoods that you would want to consider. Lot availability in this neighborhood in general is very limited. So definitely want to get that on your radar sooner rather than later. Okay, so now for a neighborhood that is absolutely different from any of the ones we've already talked about. This one is McKennan Park. And if you're from the area, you know McKennan Park by name because it is a beautiful luxury neighborhood that is centrally located. This is one of Sioux Falls' oldest and most pristine neighborhoods. It's got beautiful boulevards, it's got tree-lined streets, it's got the park in its central location where a lot of people gather in the band shell, in the gardens. There's lots of things that happen and you're super close to downtown. The other thing to note in this neighborhood is we definitely don't have cookie cutter houses. We have homes with crazy architectural styles that range from Tudor to Craftsman to all the way into our historical district, which have beautiful character. Some have been retained and some have been remodeled. So you definitely are getting a different vibe here. Another thing we see in this neighborhood is people buying the homes just for the lot and location, because you definitely can't replicate where this area is located. So they'll tear down some of the older homes that are a little bit in disrepair and build a beautiful new modern home. The one thing to note in this neighborhood is there are historic guidelines that you have to follow. So if you are thinking about building in this neighborhood, you want to make sure you do your homework on that as well. There's a wide range of price ranges here in the McKennan Park area. They start probably in the $400,000 range and go all the way up to $2 million on some of these newer rebuilds. So you definitely have a wide range of types of homes and price ranges. But if you are loving the idea of having a historic charmer located in the central area, then McKennan Park is the luxury neighborhood that could check all of your boxes. I know I covered a lot of information on these 5 different neighborhoods, so you'll want to check out the link in the description below for the side-by-side comparison and more information about each of the neighborhoods. Let's recap. We have Arbors Edge on the northeast side of town, which has rolling hills and the Big Sioux River in its backyard and has the great amenities and clubhouse. Then we moved down south to the Prairie Hills neighborhood. This is definitely more of that south central vibe. It has very nice large lots. It has mature trees and parks that are close by and proximity to the interstate. Then we moved up and into the Prairie Green and Grand Prairie neighborhoods. Those are a little bit more centrally located around the Prairie Green golf course, where people really enjoy the golf course views, mature trees, and some more modern amenities and clubhouse. Then we moved south again to Arthur Estates, which was a little bit larger lot sizes in that acre plus. It has its own creek bed and pond over there for kids activities, and definitely is more of a space for people who want to spread out but stay in the Harrisburg School District. And then last but not least, we have McKennan Park, which has the more historic charm. It's definitely close to that downtown corridor and definitely unique architecture. So the question isn't which one's best, it's the question of which one of these 5 neighborhoods would fit you and your family best. But here's a fact I want to make sure you know. The Sioux Falls luxury market is definitely moving fast. Within the first 3 months of this year, we've already seen over 30 homes go under contract in that luxury price range. So I don't say this to scare you, but I want you to be informed and know that some of this luxury is still happening off market that you don't even get to see. So if any of these 5 luxury neighborhoods are on your radar, make sure that you put together a list of all of the things that you would want in a luxury home and know that we do have true luxury here in Sioux Falls. So now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below on the neighborhood that surprised you most out of the 5 luxury neighborhoods. And do me a favor, if you know someone who's looking to upsize and maybe one of these neighborhoods is exactly what they're looking for, go ahead and hit that share button. Hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.